Welcome back to the Minority Men Show. Switching gears. I have a question that's been on my mind for the last few days, and I wanted to go around to the panel and I wanted to ask them. But we also have Mr. Stephen Wilson online. Mr. Wilson, say hello to the people.
Good evening, great folks. I'm here just to share my little bit of raggedy knowledge.
You still going to get it? You go get it? You part of Go Get It Enterprises? How are things going with that?
It's slow, but slow money's better than no money.
Absolutely. And I have a question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Have you ever met a handsome woman?
That sounds like a baited question coming from him, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I've never met one.
Very carefully.
I never met one.
What's your first impression of a handsome woman?
Handsome woman? I thought handsome is something that comes and divides for a man, but I don't know. That's a good one, man. You threw me off with that one. You know, I was ready to go in with Syria. You got me on that one. That's a good one. Very good.
Oh man. You know what? I think handsome. There's more to it. I think that handsome doesn't just have to be someone that has a like a bearded woman or anything like that, or muscular. I think that there's women with a handsome personality. I met this woman one time, and a few years back, and good-looking lady, very, very, fine woman. The only thing is that she had an aggressive personality.
Mm-hmm.
You see, she was she worked doing security. She was armed security.
Oh.
That's what she did for her job, and like I said, she was fine. She was fun to hang out with, but there was times where that security person would switch up, and she had some aggressive tendencies. And when she talked about disarming people and getting them down to the ground, I just found it unattractive. I just said, wow, that's it's a little too much for me. It was, and then I said to myself, what? She's a handsome woman.
Since you described it like that, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does.
It makes sense if you said it like that.
So have you ever met a handsome woman?
About physical.
It's not just physical. There could be some physical.
Like that makes sense.
And she is physical. I mean, she could break you down if she really wanted to. I mean, she knew how to take advantage of the pressure points and the knees and all that.
Oh, okay.
Get your elbow behind your back.
Well, I looked up the word handsome to see where it came from, and it actually says Old English. It comes from the two words hand and some, meaning easy to handle. So in the 1500s, actually the word handsome was used to describe both men and women. And so a handsome woman was one that was tall and graceful and well-shaped. Today...
That would describe her.
Today, I wouldn't say... And it's so funny because it talks about a handsome woman and then a beautiful man. I don't know. I just can't put masculine words on a female, but I could put a feminine, like you talk about a little boy with pretty eyelashes or a beautiful man. I like that, but a handsome woman, I just can't. It feels like an oxymoron to me.
Well, the Urban Dictionary says a woman with the kind of refined beauty and attractiveness that requires poise, dignity, and strength of mind of character.
Is a handsome woman?
Is a handsome woman.
She definitely had strength. She definitely had strength. Man, she get you down. Well, Brother Wilson, man.
There's another thing that I'm glad y'all spoke on. We've lost the wrong connotation of words, and we don't want to look at the etymology of words like that beautiful lady just did.
Yeah.
So if you really look for what a word means, how it was derived, and look at the etymology, we have a real good, better understanding of a lot of stuff that we think we know that we don't know.
So are you going to call your mom handsome now? Would you?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't dare call my mom.
Hey, we got to go to commercial. Hey, anyone has any opinion on this? 857-366-5444. Have you ever met a handsome woman? Brother Wilson, thank you for joining us on the show.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be back. Minority Men Show.
Yeah. I'm a shy guy. To the deepest depths of darkness, go ahead and slip into oblivion. Fall into this place with me. Strip away your fears, girl, and fall into this place, fall into this place. I call it insanity. Insanity. Open up your head to the sensation where you're seeing shades sonically. Let the waves crash on you, slip into oblivion. Fall into this place with me. Strip away your fears, girl, and fall into this place, fall into this place. Call it insanity.
Welcome back to the Minority Men Show. For all you handsome listeners out there, thank you for tuning
Man
in.
and female. That's horrible.
For all the bearded ladies.
For all the bearded ladies. For all my bearded ladies.
Does
Hit
a
us up
one-haired
on Facebook.
beard count? If you have a one-haired beard?
One-haired beard? What is that?
It's a whisker. It's called a
Like that
whisker.
mole? Is that like a mole? Is that a mole?
Get the tweezers.
It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. I'm sorry. I have a 1-year-old, everyone.
If there are any listeners that are attracted to bearded females, please hit us up, 857-366-5444. Let us know about your experience. But in the meanwhile, we're going to talk to our special guest, Anne-Marie Broderick,
I am so excited.
the host of Point of Entry.
I thought I was just filling in. I didn't know I was going to be the subject.
We're just catching everybody today. We're talking about handsome women, and we're going to be talking about Point of Entry.
Okay.
And your show's on. Your show's on from 7:30 to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9:30 actually, 2 hours.
Oh, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
that's all
7:30
right.
to 9:30.
Yep.
After our show. And I'd like you to talk about your show and talk a little bit about yourself and what motivated you to start.
Well, that's
Point
really
of
nice
Entry.
of you. Thank you for that. Well, this is a surprise. I appreciate the forum. Well, actually, the idea for Point of Entry came to me through another person who does radio through the Gag Order Network, and that would be Kelly Murphy. She hosts Indie Minded, and she and I actually share the same day job. You know, we work at the same company. But we don't really interact too much during the day, but I follow her on Facebook. I followed her work with interest, and I was interested in what she was doing. And she posted sort of this open call on Facebook, basically saying, you know, Gag Order is looking for content. If you have an idea, why don't you throw it out there and see what happens? And so, I kind of ruminated and ruminated about it for a lot of reasons. The first of which is that, I'm a mom, I'm a full-time employee, I'm a wife, I'm a busy person, and I made some choices when I was younger to pursue a safe source of employment and get a paycheck, as opposed to doing what a lot of real artists do, which is to sacrifice the security for the sake of their work. And I made the decision at the time to go with the security, and I had reasons for that. I was a single mom, very, unpredictable home life growing up, and I was very attracted to knowing where my next week's paycheck was going to come from. And so those were the choices that I made. And now, I'm a little bit older, and there have been other opportunities that have come up, and I've always had this sort of thought of, well, you can't do that, and no one's going to want to hear what you have to say, and a lot of negative self-talk.
Yeah, we know all about that.
Yeah, negative self-talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I spent a lot of time sitting on the sidelines, sort of armchair quarterbacking everybody else's ventures, if you will, and think about Miley Cyrus recently. Everybody went off on her twerking and the whole thing with the music awards, and I'm not a big fan of Miley Cyrus's, but I give it up for her for the sake of her putting herself out there. And you know what? It's way easier for me to sit on a couch and say, Miley, come on, girl, what are you doing? I mean, it's much easier for me to say that than it is for me to step out onto a stage and to make my opinion or my dance or my art, and put it out there for somebody to criticize. And so when the opportunity to come up with a radio program came up and to try to develop content for that program, I sort of had an epiphany, and I said, if I don't do this, what would be the next opportunity? When am I going to do something? And there have been plenty of things that have come along over the years that I have just not picked up the phone for, or not attended, or not made the attempt to try. And when this happened, it just seemed to be a time where I felt like, this is a really important time in my life, and a lot of things have happened personally. My mother is aging. Like, there's just a lot of milestones, sort of almost archetypal milestones that have happened, where I just am very conscious of the importance of time, and I'm very conscious of the importance of taking advantage of opportunities that present themselves. And I wanted to be able to take something that was essentially just an idea and turn it into something real. And I wanted to see if I could do that. And so I'm still trying.
You never know unless you try. You never know unless you try.
I'm still working it,
You never know unless you try.
Exactly.
I really, really like the theme of that, because I feel like at the heart of it, you're basically saying you want to do something that means that you're passionate about. It doesn't matter if you get paid for it, doesn't matter if you get recognized for it, doesn't matter, all these other superficial things, but really, really do something that you're passionate about and that you love. So my thing is, my question is, how do you pass that on to your children? Like, make sure that they don't spend years, just doing a 9-to-5, or if they're doing a 9-to-5, in addition, do something that they're really passionate about. How do you pass that on to your kids? And also, where do you see point of interest going?
Well, the first part of that is as far as, how, passing it on to my son. I have a 13-year-old son, and, part of that is, it's sort of a double-edged sword, because if I hadn't been working my steady job for all these years, and saving for him to go to college, and saving for retirement, and doing all those practical things, I wouldn't be in a financial